Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chris and Ralph YouTube channel. I'm Chris. I'm going to be doing a solo video today. As you see on the screen, I have some breaking news that broke from the Hollywood Reporter about an hour ago. So, if you haven't been following DC Studios as of late, uh, recently James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced as the new heads of DC Studios. So, with them being the new heads of DC Studios, that means that they're going to be implementing their plan and what they want to do for DC movies moving forward in terms of the DCU continuity. So basically, I mean, they're the Kevin Feige's of DC movies. And I had made a video when this news broke. It was about over a month ago of how excited I am for James Gunn and Peter Safran taking over. Particularly, James Gunn, he's going to be headed mainly most of the creative, basically. And James Gunn is my favorite director and writer in Hollywood right now and over the last few years. And he's over. He's right now. He's at Marvel making his last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Guardians 3, which is going to release of May next year. And then he's done with Marvel. Well, he's already working on DC, but he's going to be exclusive to DC. So right now, this article came out from the Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman 3, not moving forward as DC movies hit turning point. This is an exclusive article. So I was going through this article before I started recording just to have an idea of what it is. So essentially, it's right here. I'm gonna say the cleaning of the slate is common when a new executive team is put into place to run a studio or division, but there is likely little precedent for any amount of Clorox James Gunn and Peter Safran could spray. Okay, so I guess right now they are having meetings, and there's a massive meeting that's supposed to be next week regarding, I guess, some of the future slate and what's going to be done with the DCU. James Gunn, or excuse me, not DCEU, DCU. James Gunn has been very active on Twitter. When people throw out speculations, he shuts them down, or he's been leaving little snippets and pictures, like the Kingdom Come photo and things like that. So James Gunn, he's really, letting people know, like, hey, me and Peter are working on this plan, and we're really gonna nail it down. And from what I've read, it said it won't be at least until 2 months until the slate is either announced or is known by them or anybody at Warner. But so back to this right here. So apparently, multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward and is considered dead in its current incarnation. So it's considered dead from this article is saying that they're not moving forward with not with a Wonder Woman 3, but with this current iteration of Wonder Woman 3. Apparently, that Patty Jenkins submitted her script and what she wanted to do for the movie, and that Peter and James basically said, just told her that they're not going to be moving forward with Wonder Woman 3, and that whatever Patty Jenkins presented it to them, that doesn't fit what they're going to be doing in the future. So right here it says she recently submitted her treatment, called written by Jeff Johns, and Gunn and Saffron, uh, telling her the project as it stood did not fit in the new but still unfolding plans. Patty Jenkins, she directed the first two Wonder Woman, 2017, and then Wonder Woman 84 in 2020, which a lot of people didn't like. I thought it was fine. It had some good moments. I thought the action was pretty dope. Yeah, there is some storyline, especially the Trevor one, Steve Trevor, where I was like, I don't really like that one, but just whatever. Okay, so right here it says that all while costs are a factor, DC Studios will not have an overabundance of financial restrictions. Right here, Gal Gadot was on track to make 20 million for Wonder Woman 3, and Patty Jacobs was on track to make around 12 million. This isn't including any back-end bonuses. So necessarily, it's not that Gal Gadot was getting expensive or anything like that. I just what I think what it is that James Gunn and Peter Safran, they have a vision that they want, which I cannot wait to see what they're going to be doing. And that Wonder Woman 3, the way it stood, doesn't stand. Does this mean that we're never going to get a Wonder Woman movie ever again? Not that doesn't necessarily mean that, but obviously we're not getting whatever Patty Jenkins was presenting to James and Peter. And then right here, the Hollywood Reporter is actually going to a piece about what the potential DCU slate could look like. So right here it says the rest of the DC slate remains in flux, or at least being kept deep in the pocket of Gunn's own utility belt. But there are several rumors and possible scenarios to consider ahead of next week's meeting. So this meeting, I'm gonna be really looking in on that meeting, see exactly what. Obviously, I'm not gonna have access to the meeting, but I'm gonna be following it and see what reports do come out of it. It's gonna be big news. That's next week. I can't wait. And Avatar 2 comes out, Way of the Water. Next week's gonna be awesome. Okay, so this next, all right here is what the Hollywood Reporter is speculating and what rumors are saying. So I'm not gonna take this as face value and like, oh, this is facts. This very well could be true. If the Hollywood Reporter is discussing it, then I have a stern, belief that there is some truth behind this because, the Hollywood Reporter is, they're the biggest Hollywood reporting, news company out there. Anyways, I'm not saying that right, but you know what I mean. Okay, so right here it says the first scenario is, so since they shut down Wonder Woman 3, it could possibly be the closing curtain of the Snyderverse and any of the heroes cast by filmmaker Zack Snyder for his Justice League. Right here's a big part. It says this one sees the shutting down of Man of Steel 2 with returning Henry Cavill and having no more Aquaman fronted by Jason Momoa. So this piece right here is, even though it's only, a little bit of the article, it's actually, I've been looking on social media and this part of the article is making the rounds because what people are saying is like, it's confirmed that Henry Cavill, his Man of Steel, the Man of Steel 2 was shut down and that Jason Momoa is no longer going to be Aquaman. So this is what I take out of this. So first off, these are speculations and, like I said, rumors, and it's potential what could be the future slate of the DCU. Um, Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Man of Steel, the first one. Not the I didn't like BVS. The Zack Snyder Justice League, I really enjoyed it, but the overall arc of Superman as a character within this universe, I did not enjoy at all. Um, and then his cameo at the end of Black Adam, even though I do not like Black Adam as a movie, I really, really enjoyed that cameo because of the music, the score, and then by John Williams. And then you have the colors that Richard Donner bright 1970 Superman colors that we saw. So, and it says Man of Steel 2 might not be returning. And then right here, Aquaman, it having no more Aquaman fronted by Jason Momoa. So this right here, if I haven't said, I don't think I've said it on here, but I absolutely love Aquaman, the 2018 Aquaman. It's in my top three DCU movies. I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. And if you saw one of our more recent videos on our channel, Aquaman 2, I think the Fallen Kingdom, I don't remember, is like in my top three or I think second most anticipated movie for next year. So hearing this, obviously it's rumors, but if this were to be true, that sucks because I really do enjoy Jason Momoa as Aquaman. But I believe in James Gunn. I believe in Peter Safran. So if their direction is to no longer have Jason Momoa as Aquaman and just do a full reboot, that's the direction they want to go. I'm all for it. It's gonna suck at first because, like I've mentioned, I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. But if they're gonna bring him as, I'm gonna go a little further down. Where is it? Mm, right here. Whether or not Momoa does play everybody's favorite Lobo, emerging as a rising character early in the conversation may point to the kinds of characters Scott and Saffron may be focusing on. So basically, what they're saying is that if he doesn't come back as Aquaman, that they're gonna have him as Lobo. And Jason Momoa, he's been doing some red carpets and stuff for his new Netflix movie. I forget the name of it and some other stuff. And he's been talking about Lobo, that he would absolutely love to play Lobo. And Lobo, I'm aware of the character. I follow him a bit here and there. I don't know much about the lore, but I do know and I have seen that Jason Momoa would make a perfect Lobo. He is Lobo straight from the comics. He's straight from television. It's like you took the character, threw him live action, and Jason Momoa was just right there. So if that's what they're gonna do, I'm all for it. But obviously, we will see. So the next piece of the article is another big part because apparently Momoa and Cavill are supposed to have cameos in Flash. Flash comes out next year, June 16th. And apparently, this is I didn't know this, but this is the first time that I've been reading this, is that Cavill shot his part of the cameo back in September, so a couple of months ago. But sources say there is a debate inside the studio as whether or not to keep the cameo, as if its inclusion promises something that the studio would have no plans on delivering. So this is another big part because the Flash movie is going to be sort of like its Flashpoint. It's going to be either a soft reboot or a hard reboot for the DCU. That's just speculations. I know that Ben Affleck's Batman's in it. Michael Keaton's Batman's in it. Obviously, Flash, Supergirl, and from what I've been reading online and just watching other videos on, is that the early screenings for Flash have been amazing. So Ezra Miller, although yes, there's so much controversy, he or they, excuse me, they've hurt my excitement for the movie because of the controversy surrounding all that stuff going on with Ezra. When I see Flash, I'm gonna watch it obviously because it's a comic movie. I love Flash as a character. It's going to be kind of bittersweet seeing that movie because of all the controversy surrounding Ezra. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to try to just leave all that stuff at the door and just enjoy the movie for what it is. And what from early screenings and from test screenings, that this is hands down one of the best DCU movies that's ever been made. And that's exciting hearing that because um, having an exciting Flash movie and the potential Flashpoint and a potential reboot, which is what it sounds like they're heading into, who knows? Um, that's something that I really do want to see. I enjoy most of these characters. Like I enjoy Aquaman, like Momoa's Aquaman. I like Cavill casted as Superman. I don't like the way that Superman's been presented. I'm not the biggest fan of the dark and brooding and just that's just not how I see Superman. And if that's how you enjoy it, then obviously that's fine. I mean, that's how you enjoy Superman, but that's not how I enjoy Superman. And this is my personal prefaces. Ben Affleck as Batman, I think he's fine. He's not one of my favorite Batmans. I've had an issue with that character using guns, if I'm being honest with you. That's a big, big issue for me. Like, it's kind of hard for me to look past that. But, it is what it is. Ezra Miller as Flash, I think the casting's fine. Uh, I've enjoyed his comedic beats that he's had in the Justice League movies and all of that. Obviously, like I had mentioned, I'm sure you're well aware of all the controversy surrounding Ezra. But if I'm speaking just about the character, I think the character's okay. It's fine. The casting's okay. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. The first one I think is a really good movie. The second one, I know it's hated by a lot of people. I enjoy it. It's fine. It's not obviously not my favorite DCU movie, but I think it's a fine movie. And her as Wonder Woman, I really, really like the casting because, like how I want Superman to be more colorful. Um, that's what they did in Wonder Woman 84. They had her colors more bright, more vibrant and things like that. And I think she's a great Diana. Honestly, I think she plays that part very well, being Wonder Woman and Diana at the same time. And then I forget his last name, Ray Fisher, I think. His Cyborg, I think he was one of the best parts of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think the character is fine. The design of like super rigid exoskeleton design, I'm not a big fan of. But I think that character is fine. And who am I missing? Yeah, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg. Yeah, that's six. That's of the Justice League we saw in the DCU movies. Yeah, okay. So moving on from all that, So right here, going further into the Cavill situation is more than a little thorny. The actor made a cameo in Black Adam, like I had mentioned earlier. That cameo was easily the best part of the movie, hands down. And that, basically Cavill posted on Instagram that he is officially back as Superman. And right now, it's been reported that they've been developing a sequel for 2013's Man of Steel, uh, that they've been actively meeting with writers. The director of Flash, Andy Muschietti, he directed Flash right there. He's expressed interest of directing the film, and right here it says to hopeful and heroic colors of the 1978 movie, directed by Richard Donner. So that's encouraging news if they do decide to move with the Man of Steel 2, which obviously is the thing it sounds like. And if they do a Man of Steel 2, I don't want it to be called Man of Steel, call it Superman. I think that's deserving of the title. And let's see right here. Desire one more go around the Snyderverse, possibly even another Justice League movie with the actors. And then, so this is all what's been going on before James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced. And it says right here, but that was before Peter Safran, Gunn and Safran were formulating their new plan. And then the Black Adam, there's been saying that it's going to lose money, that it's going to break even, and then that The Rock today put a post online saying how it's actually profitable. It made like 50 to 70 million. So there's so many speculating reports on this movie on Black Adam and its financial, whether it lost, gained, or broke. No, lost, gained, or broke even. Yeah. So I'm not going to get too much into these numbers because, there's so many different, The Rock and Hollywood Reporter, everyone's coming out with different numbers. So I don't know much about this and exactly who's correct and who's wrong. But I will say that for The Rock being who he is, and then for Black Adam, even though he is overall an unknown character to most people, having The Rock in a superhero costume, should attract people to the box office, to the theaters. And for the budget and the marketing, and for all that account, whether even if it does break even or actually become profitable, this is not what The Rock and the team Black Adam and everyone had in mind for this movie. They, I am sure, like every studio, would have hoped that this movie would have made massive numbers, but obviously it didn't. And I think it was because of the script, some characters I couldn't stand that ruined the movie for me. I think The Rock's performance was The Rock. I mean, it was okay. It was flat. I mean, there was nothing gripping about anything of that movie. I thought Hawkman was pretty dope, and Doctor Fate was pretty dope. Everybody else I didn't really care for, if I'm being honest with you. Um, but yeah, that's Black Adam, and it's basically going into the numbers that there's a high chance that they're not going to make a Black Adam sequel. Which even if it does end up making some money back, I don't think they're going to make a Black Adam sequel. Why? Why would you? Like, just why? Um, Call me a hater. I don't give a crap. The movie to me was not good. So that's just me personally. And then it starts going more into the slate. That James Gunn came out recently, and he said that we won't see any of his and Peter Safran's projects until after next year's slate. So after Aquaman, the Lost City, there it goes, the Lost City. That we won't see anything until 2024, essentially, because this comes out in December. Oh, on Christmas, I didn't know that. I know it came out late December, but yes. So just going into more of like that, Momoa could end up having his last performance as Aquaman in Aquaman 2. And let's go a little bit more into this one. So yeah, so the first DCU movie coming out next year is Shazam, Fury of the Gods in March, and then Blue Beetle in August 18th. I cannot wait for those two movies. If I'm being honest with you, the entire DCU slate next year, I'm excited for. I love the first Shazam. Blue Beetle, I can't wait to have a Mexican American superhero representing me. I love that. The Flash, besides everything happening off camera for the actual movie, I am excited for. And then Aquaman 2, I want to be there day one. I'm excited. And then right here, obviously, it says observers are convinced the plans calls for an interconnected story universe, and there's rumblings of the establishment of a creative brain trust. Right here, it says Saffron had in recent weeks been meeting with writers at his Los Angeles home in an effort to hone the presentations, gathering feedback and ideas for the plan. So obviously, James Gunn and Peter Saffron have been super, super, super active, and they're just trying to get their plans going. And the last bit of the article right here touches on Matt Reeves' Batman. Basically saying that Reeves is writing the sequel to the Batman, which opened on March 4th or earlier this year, and the filmmaker is overseeing the launch of two Batman series, including the Penguin, and then the other one is a Arkham Asylum based show, which sounds really dope because Batman's my favorite character of everything, including Marvel and DC. And being in that world, I just love it. And I love the Batman. It's my favorite superhero movie of the year. My favorite movie of the year, I'm gonna see Avatar 2 next week, and I heard amazing things about that movie, so we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much this article. I really, really, really wanted to talk about it with y'all. When I saw it about 30, 40 minutes ago, I was like, "Oop, I got to make a video because I want to talk about it." My overall thoughts is I understand why Wonder Woman 3 it is canceled because Wonder Woman 84, even though I decently enjoyed it, I understand why people hated that movie. And also, James Gunn and Peter Safran, they have a plan. They know what they want to do. They know exactly who they want as their characters, and they know exactly what the future holds for the next 5 years for the DCU. DCU. Jesus, I got to get better at that. And if that means recasting some of these characters, doing a full reboot, I'm all for it, if I'm being honest with you. Is it going to suck seeing some of these actors not play these characters? Yeah, of course. But like I mentioned, I trust James Gunn and I trust Peter Safran because I have been aware of Peter Safran over the last few years, seeing behind the scenes footage for Shazam and seeing behind the scenes footage for Aquaman and for the Suicide Squad, like how involved he is and how great of a producer he is and what he's able to get done. I believe in Peter Safran as well. So we are going to see more news come out of the DCU next week with that meeting. That was a little snippet of the article. It says the meeting next week. I don't know who's involved. I'm sure obviously James couldn't pick this up on, but I don't know what can come of that meeting. If there could be any possible announcements, I don't know. That would be pretty dope, but I think it's still too early. But we will see, guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Comment below what you think about all this. Comment below your thoughts on Wonder Woman 3 getting canceled and all that good stuff. But I hope you appreciate this video. And yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. I will catch y'all next time. As always, I'm Chris, and peace.